Hi guys, Ambarish Mitra, founder and CEO of Blippa. Very quick introduction before I give you guys an in-depth idea of where augmented reality is heading. So what is our vision? Our vision is to give you more from the world you see. It's very simple. We all see reality with our eyes every day, and we feel augmented reality is a technology that can very simply give you additional information on top of the physical world. But there are three core philosophies that makes our business model and this whole augmented reality movement very interesting. I'd like to take you through in-depth of what those three philosophies mean. Almost the first one is biological in nature. Our eyes gives us vision, the sight. Actually, 83% of our cognition, learning, knowledge just comes from this primary sensor, which is our eyes. And all the other senses of the human body are almost supporting senses. If we use that analogy to the most important organ outside of the human body, which is our phones, right? That's one organ which is outside of the human body but always attached to us. Today, there are so many businesses whose entire business model is connected with pictures. And there's almost a $500 billion economy in Facebook, in Snapchat, Vine, Instagram. In fact, the world's biggest company with highest market cap, Apple, the entire marketing campaign is based on the camera. It's shot on iPhone 6. You see that everywhere, every day. So eyes are very, very important and very critical to our everyday learning. Let's park that thought. Philosophy number 2, why augmented reality is important, at least in our world, is products. Products not necessarily means branded products. I mean, random chairs, cars, furniture, trees, plants, everything is some sort of a product. In our world, we believe products the biggest medium. Most marketeers or advertisers or brand owners in the world, they think television is a media, we don't disagree. Internet is a media, we don't disagree. Print is a media. But actually, the physical products, the world we see with our eyes, is the biggest media in the world. And we consume it every day, but none of us ever see it as a media. Imagine if everything you look at could talk back to you straight through a camera device, and it could be in a form factor on your face or on your phones. It'll be an amazing world, and that's one of our ambitions, what we're trying to build here. The last philosophy is words are not enough. We sometimes take it for granted, our capability of language, and today the biggest source of information, gateway to the world of knowledge is through search engines, the predominantly bigger access to the internet. But we sometimes forget that 1/7 of the world can't even read and write. 2/7 of the world has very basic numeric and alphabetical literacy. They can just about count money or read random signs. And the remaining 4/7 of the world, where people like you and me belong, from high school dropouts to triple PhDs, even the most knowledgeable person doesn't speak more than 10% vocabulary of any given language. What that proves that there is an immense untapped opportunity to drive human curiosity about everyday things into content and action. Interestingly, we sometimes take it for granted when we hear someone speak with limited vocabulary, we think they're stupid. It's a very stereotypical thing to do. We do not realize that the human curiosity and the human imagination and the human vocabulary is actually inversely proportional. Many people are not able to translate their curiosities into a language. Hence, over-relying on just word-based communication on the internet or this whole digital era will not be sufficient. That's why the whole area of computer vision and augmented reality and virtual reality would play a big role. Just for academic purposes, I'd like to clarify it for you a little more. Very academic. Visual reality is the world you see. We already know that. We are human beings, we see the world. That's reality. Then comes in the continuum is augmented reality. Very simply, augmented reality requires reality. It is enhancement of the reality. Whatever you're seeing, if you get a little more from that reference point, that's augmented reality. Augmented virtuality, hardly ever spoken about, but Kinect was a good example where you take someone from the real world and you put it in a virtual world and you engage between the real and the virtual. That's augmented virtuality has really taken a lot of action in the gaming industry. And last, a very, very hot keyword these days is virtual reality. Almost has nothing to do with reality. It is escaping from reality. You want to take a walk in Venice, you want to enjoy a 360-degree gaming experience in a stadium, you could wear a headset and be transported to another region. But a big defining field of science is really governing this era. So in the last 20 years, you must have heard so much about HTTP, SSL, security, website, JavaScript. Really, the next era, you're going to hear so much about computer vision, deep learning, artificial intelligence. And the image you see here, what it's trying to predict, almost where computer vision stands today, it's almost behaving like a 5 to 6-year-old kid's brain, and it can more or less read the environment and exactly tell that's a chair, that's a grass, and it classifies things into different colors and clusters. This is a real image, and it truly indicates how a computer today sees the world. So what we are predicting, and our domain expertise has been augmented reality, that this whole phenomena is going to be huge. It could be almost as the 8th mass communication medium, and the prior 7 being books and DVDs and radio, cinema, mobile, internet, all of that. For the last 7, this one could be the 8th by a very simple factor that we, of course, in the last 20 years, we captured this digital layer, and we captured it with pictures, phones, desktops, all connected to the cloud. And we've got almost all pieces of humanity and human history connected in an electronic format. But it is very difficult to bridge relevance. How is this screen relevant to the screen what I'm looking for? How is this piece of jacket connected to the jacket I'm looking for? That relevance is missing today, a true bridge between the physical and digital. And augmented reality will play a big role. It'll disrupt education, it will disrupt enterprise space, it will disrupt healthcare, retail, it'll disrupt many forms of work which requires 2 hands and computers. There are so many work streams today which requires 2 hands and a computer, but there's not enough optimization there. Immense amount of effort is going to go into training. And lastly, of course, marketing communications, where a lot of inroads is already being made, and it's one of the earliest adopters. So I'd like to conclude before I give you guys a demo, is many people have been talking about the phenomena of Internet of Things, but you realistically won't be able to put a chip on every object in the world, which includes Amazon forest. You can't go and put a chip on every plant and every tree. There are several things in the world. The world is way bigger than the World Wide Web. So phones are already in people's hands, and glasses would be probably in people's hands. It's a future we can't predict yet. But tomorrow, you would be able to put your phone's camera on majority of things in the world and get content on it. And we are calling it Internet on Things, and this is a buzzword which is really, really beginning to pick up because it really simplifies it. You've got the object, you've got the camera, and the object should talk back at you. On that note, I'd like to give you guys a demonstration of some of the interesting pieces of work we are doing on with the field of education, brands, sports, and entertainment to, let me see how far this cable goes, just about right. Bear with me. I think this is the first demo on this stage today, so good luck to me. So that's my phone, and I'm going to start off with an example being used in schools, almost 40,000 schools around the world, education on how the solar system works. So this is the Blippar browser, which analyzes the environment you look at. When you look at it on something it recognizes, in this case, this is a picture, literally a physical picture depicting the solar system. On the screen behind, it's going to be on a portrait mode, but on your actual phone, it's on landscape, so bear with the physics of it. So the goal here is to tell the kids that the kid is the sun. And if you're the sun, and if you're looking at the solar system around you, how it's going to look like, the reference point and how each planet is moving around. And literally you can see the Earth, Jupiter, you can see the moon around the Earth. You literally have to go around. This is based on a gyroscope, and that's where Saturn is. And you can click on any one of those planets, and it gives you more information about it. And you come out of it, if you want to, and you come out of it, and you can continue to engage with it. Another one, and these are all real examples being used in schools, explaining how in different layers of volcano works. Same single browser, but it can recognize billions of images. It opens up the mountain into the whole ash cloud, and then it'll explain each layer of the volcano. And in fact, you can take a quiz on it. So you can label each layer of the volcano, and teachers can run a quiz and give you a score against it. I'm not going to go through it because I'm horrible at it. I don't want to expose my geography knowledge. Few more examples. I'm going to move into now marketing communications, from education to marketing. This is with Pepsi during World Cup, where they put the Blippar logo on millions of cans. And this is where the can actually came to life. So you could actually blip any can, and there's this three-dimensional football game that comes out of it, and you can actually play a real game on top of the can. So for marketeers in the room, whoever thinks that products are just dead mediums, actually any product could be converted into a highly engaging platform where this becomes a three-dimensional penalty shootout game. Thank you. Not done yet. Let me show you a couple of more things here, very interesting. This is an example of use of physics and motorsport. This is with a Formula One driver called Max Chilton. And you'll notice something interesting here. This Formula One car starts to move, but the physics of it changes as I move the paper. I'm not moving the phone. So if I turn the piece of paper to the right, the car moves on the right. If I turn the piece of paper to the left, the car moves on the left. And then you can also have further very, very interesting games where, again, this very field becomes into an interactive place where you can rotate the car and have donut competitions and things like that between your friends. And again, you can see this is literally in the virtual and real space. One of my favorite ones, and a live demo would do a justice to it. Here is a picture of a butterfly, which is completely blank, and I'm gonna write some stuff on it. Maybe Slush 2015, amazing. Okay, and literally this is almost user-generated content. Kids love it. Kids would have painted an amazing butterfly out of it. You take this butterfly, and you almost take a perfect alignment picture of it. And this is my creativity, the best I could do today. But within moments, this very butterfly can come out of this physical print and start flying in the physical world. I don't even need to hold that piece of paper. So you know how one physical object, you can create stuff on it, but it can still detach. And kids absolutely love it. Second last is celebrities. They're using the platform in amazing ways, and it's required because sometimes celebrities do drive consumer culture to move forward. So this is with Snoop Dogg and all his albums, and they do a lot of cool stuff here. But one of the cool features this has is take a picture with Snoop. So you could be in the room with Snoop, and I can like turn this around, and you guys are there too, and you just press this. There you go. We all went to a party with Snoop here. But everything you saw here is very, very entertainment, education brand. It's quite flat. But when I was talking about Internet of Things, this is not an image. It's a real object. You could still put your phone on this random object which is not marked in any way, and this is what's going to happen in the future. It's an Apple. It's a non-proprietary product, yet the same browser calls it obvious it's Apple. Symbolism, what it means, recipes out of it, locations where you can buy it from, trivia, nutrition, all those facts. So tomorrow, which is not too far, we're talking about few months, there'll be several platforms, not just Blippa, which is going to start this phenomena which we're calling Internet of Things. Thank you very much.